Hello guys, Fuzz here. And welcome to Planet Coaster. This is Alpha 3. So it's been a while since I've made any Planet Coaster videos, but since the new Alpha came out I've been highly excited and looking forward to this one. I thought we'd get back into it and see what's changed, have a little play around, and then I'll probably crack ahead with making some more stuff for you guys to see. The good news now is we can actually share our creations. So once these videos are put out and we've made some decent stuff, we can actually put it up on the Steam Workshop, and you folks that are playing along can also download it and make changes to the parks and everything that we create and share them with the rest of the FuzzfingerGaming community and with the world. So isn't that exciting? So first thing we notice here in Alpha 3, and I should just mention that this game is only available now on Steam. So you can still buy it from Frontier, but you'll get a key to activate it on Steam, and that means that we can use the Steam Workshop to download buildings, rides, parks, anything you can imagine really that's to do with Planet Coaster. So first thing you'll notice is that the whole opening interface has changed. The globe is still here, but it no longer contains parks, instead it contains avatars. And these are avatars of the developers. But you can have your own friends on here as well, but I don't have a big friends list on Steam. Nobody likes me. So, in other words, I've only got a few people on the globe. But this here, I believe, is me. Right here, look in the heart of the UK. There's a new place where you can actually create your avatar. And here I am, looking as goofy as ever. And you've got a few customization options to change how you want to look. There's not a whole lot of customization in all honesty, but I assume that more options will be added as the alpha progresses into release. And then you place yourself on the world and people can see where you are. And then we have this new play menu. By the way, the Steam Workshop, as far as I can tell, can only be accessed from this main menu, although it is all built into the game. So if we click that there, it doesn't seem to work at the moment. Maybe that's because I've got Fraps active. I'll have to have a look at that. But anyway, the main thing you're going to want to be doing is hitting the play button here, and this will bring you to the new menu where you can start your game. And we've got three modes here. We've got career mode, sandbox mode, and challenge mode. Career mode is still blanked out, but this is where you're going to find your traditional scenarios. We've had them all the way through the Roller Coaster Tycoon series. If you've played any of those, you'll be familiar with the career section. So I'm certainly looking forward to that and the scenarios and levels that Frontier give us. And hopefully there'll be an option with the Steam Workshop to create our own scenarios as well and upload those for the rest of the community. The good thing about the community nowadays with these kinds of simulation games is that you get a never-ending supply of content, which basically is just amazing really, isn't it? We've got Sandbox Mode, which we all know and love. That's what we've been playing up until this point in Planet Coaster. And we have this new challenge mode as well, which I'm actually going to be doing a Let's Play series on, which is where we don't have a scenario per se. It's similar to Sandbox in that we get a big open space, but we have to manage money at the same time, so we can't just build what we want when we want. We have that element of management in there as well. So I thought we'll check that out, that could be fun. And then we've got a tutorial which isn't active yet, and whatever this is, what's new, which isn't active. And then My Parks will just allow us to access our save games, which do carry over, by the way, if you've been playing any of the previous alphas. But for now, we're just going to start very briefly by having a look at some of the new stuff that's available to us. And the first thing we can notice is that we have different lands available, or different environments if you like. The original tropical, which is what we have been using up to this point, and now also the desert environment, which we'll check out, and a couple of others which have not yet been made available to us, but it's nice to know that some other environments are in the works as well. So we'll go ahead and load the desert landscape and see what it is we're working with. This is the first time I've ever loaded up this landscape, so I don't know what to expect. And here we are in the desert. And I just love how this game runs so smoothly. Even when you plonk down a load of rides and roller coasters, everything is just perfect, at least on my system anyway. But, you know, I've played other simulation games and they don't run smoothly at all. So it's definitely been optimised, this game, and I believe they are working on further optimising it as well. So let's just have a look at some of the new stuff and some of the new interface options. The first thing that you might have noticed is it seems to be a little bit flickery with the lighting. Maybe that's just my recording. I wasn't noticing that earlier, or maybe it's this new landscape. Anyway, it's barely noticeable. So one of the first things you might notice is the My Blueprints section, and blueprints are one of the main features of Alpha 3. And also we have park management, and this is what will allow us to, well, engage in park management. Although we're in Sandbox here, we're not going to be concerned about money, but we might be concerned about hiring staff. You might remember in the previous alphas, your entertainers would just appear as people appeared, and as the guests appeared. Now you have to put them in yourself. There's no patrolling at the moment, so they pretty much go where they want. And under maintenance, we can have the handy janitors. There's no mechanics or security guards or anything as of yet, but I can only assume they will be coming in later. But there is staff management. You do have to pay your staff, train your staff, and keep them happy. And all these other options are greyed out at the moment. We've got no staff, of course. So we still can't open and close our park. That's done automatically as we start building rides. And we cannot change the entrance fee of our gates either. But we can change the prices of our facilities and rides. So we'll have a look at some of these other features. But before we do that, we'll just throw a path down so we've got something to work with here. What size are we? 6'8" by the looks of it. Or is it 7? Nope. Makes it a little bit longer. So I'm not actually going for a park here. We are going to be starting again probably in the next episode, or maybe just after I finish this. I just want to have a look at some of the new stuff that's been made available to us. So if we go on to My Blueprints, we can see that we can access stuff that we've saved ourselves in other parks, such as my ride here, the Swarm, which I did a video on, and I've uploaded this to the Steam Workshop. Pretty much as a trial thing to see how the blueprint system works. It works very well, actually. I'm quite impressed with it. And also I downloaded this Japanese walkway from the workshop as well, which can basically just be placed over our paths like this. Although I'm not going to place it here because I think it's made for normal size paths perhaps, whereas this is an 8-metre one. But we can see how it works by plonking in the Swarm here, which I built in a previous park, and we can turn it around like we could with any other object, and you can even save it with scenery, as you can see. I don't know if you can save with water or terrain. I don't think you can. So even though this original ride did contain water, the user that downloads this would have to put that in themselves. So you just plonk it in as normal, and it's really as seamless as that. How good is that, eh? Not necessarily the ride, I mean just the whole blueprint system. And you're good to go in your park. But there's also some pre-made blueprints as well for roller coasters. As you can see, these are the ones that the developers have given us, and no doubt there will be more of these to come as time goes on. But of course you can just go to your custom option, which will allow you to build the coaster yourself, of which there are various new coasters such as the Eurofighter here, and some of these other ones as well. I can't remember exactly what's new and what isn't, but there is a 4D coaster as well, this test pilot coaster. So maybe we can just go ahead and throw one of those in, just as a kind of example. I don't know if that's 4D, is it? No. That looks like one. So these are all based off real life roller coaster types, and we can just go ahead and hit the test button here, and you can see that we have excitement, fear and nausea ratings now, which update on the fly also, which is nice. And then once the ride has finished, we'll get the overall results filled out here, including G-forces and stuff. Your visitors, your peeps, your guests will not go on a roller coaster until it's been tested. So that's a new feature of this alpha. It was not the case before, but it is now. And this is a very nauseating ride, I would imagine, because with the 4D coaster, the rails actually turn the riders independently of the rest of the train. So it provides a very unique riding experience. And this is just one of the new coaster types available in the latest alpha. So we'll let our crash test dummies carry on experiencing the fun there. And not only do we have new coasters, but we have new rides, new flat rides as well. And one of the other interesting features, which I'll explain to you in a moment once we've built one of these new flat rides, let's go ahead and build the Wild Blue, which is a new thrill ride. We'll go ahead and just speed up the time here to try and bring things back to daytime, so that we can actually see more what's going on, since I haven't put any lighting around my park just yet. Looks like we're just heading up now to the sunrise. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and start the test, but something else you'll notice, all of the flat rides now have music. Hear that? Obviously it's music appropriate to the flat ride itself. So this sounds a little bit like Ride of the Valkyries. I could be wrong on that though, so forgive me if I am. Bum ba ba bum. I don't know why, but this seems to remind me of the Arnold Schwarzenegger film The Running Man. Maybe if you've seen that you'll understand why. But we can go ahead and use the ride camera once again to watch this. We have the cinematic view. Another nauseating ride, I would say. And one of the new rides that comes with the alpha. And some other new rides which come with the alpha are the Cube, which is also another thrill ride, and the traditional, we've got the Sundial as well, which is a giant swing, and the Teacups as well, a traditional fairground or theme park ride. So we'll go ahead and start testing that. Once again we get music, every single flat ride now. No doubt in the final release you'll be able to turn the music off, or perhaps even add your own custom music. I would be very surprised if that's not a feature that would be included. But something else we can do with all of the rides now in Planet Coaster, and not just the rides actually, but all the building pieces too, is alter the colours. So by default we have this nice pretty blue and pink colour scheme. But let's say we wanted to change that. Instead of this pink here, we wanted a nice blush red. We could certainly do that. See? Oh, it's pretty ugly. But if you want to make it ugly, you now have the option to do so. There's nothing stopping you. You have the complete freedom in how you have your rides looking. So we're going to get a lot of unique varieties in parks now, especially because, as I say, you can do that with scenery pieces as well. So if we go into buildings, for example, and we'll look at the blueprints in a moment, but let's say for instance we build a wall, and I'm just going to build a few pieces very briefly. Then somewhere around here, there is a way to change the colour, but I can't exactly see how to do that at the moment, unfortunately. Okay, apparently you can't paint brick. Fair enough, I suppose. So I plonked down this white wall here, and as you can see, you can change that to whatever colour you want it to be. So you can definitely get some decent variation in your parks now, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, this park isn't meant to be a functional park by any stretch of the imagination. But we also have these other blueprints as well, which we did see briefly as we went into the building section. So for instance we have Fairy Tale, and you just plonk it in like you would anything else. And this is all used with the piece by piece building system, so you can click it, edit it, make any changes to it that you want to make. See, look, all these pieces are individual pieces, but I'm not going to make any changes to it at the moment. You can also add anything else in that exists here, but not only here, but also anything you've downloaded from the Steam Workshop. So there's literally a plethora of building options available to you now. If you're not somebody who wants to build every intricate building piece by piece, you no longer have to. Now, of course, I always think if you're going for a beautifully designed park, then you're going to want to build piece by piece, because you're going to be able to tailor those buildings around your own paths, around your own scenery, so that you can create the look that you want. But you don't have to do that. You have the option now to include some of these awesome pre-built structures. And I'm not the most artistic or designful person on the planet. You know, there's Planet Coaster players on YouTube. I'm thinking of Silverat and some others that are just absolute masters at the piece-by-piece building system. But not all of us can be like that, unfortunately. But it's nice to know that we can still have beautiful parks through the Blueprints system. And we also have the same option with shops. We can see here that there's pre-built piece-by-piece buildings for all these different shops. For example, if I want to put in a nice burger store in what I assume is like a piratey theme, we can just do the same thing. And there's our burger store, look, ready to go, ready to sell. And I had no idea we could make those signs. Is that like neon signage, is it? Oh, awesome. Anyway, this game remains absolutely stunning to look at. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I can show you. Oh, of course, yes. A new terrain option. If we make a crater or something, just as a little bit of an example, we have water. Now, it's a little bit bugged still, the water. Not in how it looks, per se, but in the placement of it. You can't always get it exactly how you want it, but that's worked out pretty well. So if we just undo that, we can have a look at some of the other water types that are available to us. Rough water. I guess that means it's a little bit windy. And we also have, I'm not sure what standing water is. Okay. It's got a bit of algae in. And then dirty water. This is what happens when theme parks don't clean their lakes. So, yeah, water, we can make that an intricate part of our coasters. Always exciting when your coaster goes over the water, isn't it? Of course, you can continue to combine that with tunnels and all other bits and bobs as well. And there's other features as well, which I haven't looked at yet, but as we get into the Let's Play, we'll certainly get to experience those, such as the option to add a fast pass system to your rides, so that guests who want to pay a premium don't have to join the long queues. Something that a lot of theme parks are doing nowadays, and it's nice to see that the game here, Planet Coaster, has included those kinds of touches. And it's an extra way, of course, to add to the simulation. You get to make more money as part of your management. We have a new park racing system down here, based on guest happiness, how much scenery you have, how good your rides are, etc, etc. No doubt that will play into the scenarios and the career mode as and when that is released. And we've seen tastes of it here, but we've got an entire new theme available to us in the way of the fairy theme, I think it's called, Fairyland or something, Fairy Tale, that's it. And we can filter all our scenery out now to the theme that we want to use. So we've got some wall options and other stuff as well. Drawbridge, interesting. Very good. So, whole new theme with 400 new pieces available to us. So this is the Planet Coaster Alpha 3 build. Lots for us to look at. I'm going to begin the next episode by doing a a park in the, not the career mode, the challenge mode, so that we're actually going to have to pay attention to money. And I'm also have some ideas in my head about some other recreations. This is the Swarm from Thorpe Park, which I showed you earlier, which I made in Alpha 2. But I have other ideas for other roller coaster recreations now that we have the new coaster types available. So I'm looking forward to getting stuck into some of those in the future as well. So don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to be kept up to date on those new episodes. As and when I put them out, you'll be notified of that. And hit the like button if you've enjoyed this video. Post a comment, let me know if you're playing along with me. And I'll see you soon, guys, for more Planet Coaster. Take care.